as well, and we'll send out the recording. We'll post it to Facebook. We'll post it to YouTube and then send it out. So I'm Patrick McKeag. I'm the product manager for Varsity Learning. Varsity Learning is an online platform. It can be used with any course, but we recommend it, and really its power is with the math courses, mainly because of the algorithmic engine, and then we also have a number of questions and content preloaded for you. Okay, so let's see here. Varsity Learning, easy to sign up. If you're an instructor and you need an account, just click the instructor sign up. We get those done usually within an hour, sometimes longer. And then the students, when they sign up, they'll just go here as well. Once you're signed up, you just go to login. So let's take a look from a teacher's perspective what this is. I'm a teacher, I log in. I don't have any courses I'm teaching. I'm not enrolled in any courses right now. So I'm going to add a new course. So to do that, I'm just going to click add a new course. And generally, the first time you're teaching, you're going to want to start with a template course, maybe one of your colleagues' courses. After that, maybe you start with a blank course and just copy in your current course. But right now, I'm going to go to the templates. This is where all the good stuff is. We have two sets of templates. I can explain these a little bit. Primarily, we're going to talk about the high school math templates today. These are traditional templates that we started in 2015. They're not meant to correlate with any textbook. They're kind of meant as a repository of content to use with any textbook. So we encourage you to mix and match the topics to best fit your course. You can do that within your department for the best way to get it done quickly and to collaborate. Just recently, we became partners with OpenStax. For those of you not familiar, OpenStax is a nonprofit out of Rice University. They publish textbooks that are open source for all the main courses in college. And these textbooks are open source and they're free. There's nothing to sign up for. People can go in and download the PDFs here and use them in your class. There's no signups for teachers or for students. It's actually free. And so what they depend on is technology partners. And Varsity Learning is a technology partner. We've coded questions into Varsity Learning for the math courses they have, the math books, and we have those available too. So the OpenStax templates come with the OpenStax textbook embedded in there. And I'll go over those a little bit as well. So let's start with a template. Maybe we'll start with an Algebra 1 template. So we have Algebra 1, Algebra 2, Calculus, Pre-Algebra, Pre-Calculus, Trigonometry. So I'm just going to click Continue. Algebra 1 template 2020, so now I can rename it. Maybe you want to start with your last name so your students know they're in the correct course. Now I just click Submit. When I click Submit, the system is going to generate a new course and a new course ID. And each course has a unique course ID. This is the number that you give to your students so they can self-enroll in your class. So it's 6450. And I entered the course. I can also see it's 6450 here. If any of you are logged into your Varsity Learning at the same time, you're welcome to enroll in this class as a student. So if you were enrolled in Varsity Learning right now, or logged into Varsity Learning, I should say, you would click Enroll in a new class, and then you would enter 6450 for the course ID. And then you'd be enrolled in this class, and then we'd be able to see you right here. So Kendra is enrolled right now. Let's see if anybody else is enrolled. Okay, so first thing is the calendar, and that's what we're going to talk about today. First, I'm going to delete it, talk about the rest of the course real quickly. So the overview, the answer entry guide here, the ASCII math reference, these are just PDFs that you can review in your class and go over with your students. I want to talk a little bit about these templates. So these are meant to coincide with whatever textbook you want, but not exactly. So the idea is that you're going to mix and match, change the order of topics. So linear equations, topic C, we open this up, and here's C1, addition property, C2, multiplication property, C3, solving linear equations. As you can see as we go down here, sometimes there's some vocabulary. These are called the class notes, vocabulary properties, and then a video lesson. I don't know if you saw that, but to access the video lessons directly in Varsity, I just click the little plus sign, and then the video lesson pops up and I can play it. So you don't have to go to YouTube from your class and experience that. You can play these videos that we've curated right within Varsity Learning. So you can see there's a number of topics similar to a regular class. Some of the applications don't have as many vocabulary or properties or even videos, but you're welcome to put those in. At the end, there's a topic review, which is just another assignment with all the assignments in there. And then finally, the forums. And I do want to go over the forums today. Okay, so let's take a look at what an assignment looks like, solving linear equations in one variable. So you've done this in class. You want to assign homework, and Varsity Learning is an online homework platform. So I'm going to go into topic C3. Each of these templates with the assignment starts with a vocab question here, so I can go through and answer these. But the real strength is going to be these algorithmic questions. Here the students each get a different version of this question. They're going to enter their answer, click submit, they get it wrong. They're going to get 3 attempts. I don't have the date set here. I'll do that in a second. After the 3rd attempt, the system will show the student the correct answer, and then they can click this button, try another similar question. So when I click this, now watch the equation here. The equation changes, and then another equation pops up, and we can solve that. Looks like this is going to be negative 6y equals 18. Is that right? So negative 3. So we got it right. The score didn't go in the gradebook because we are in review mode. I'll get out of review mode just 1 second. And now there's a green check next to question 3. So students can work these problems in any order. There's a real variety of questions here. In fact, there's over 100,000 questions we have in Varsity Learning. These are all primarily, over 98% of them are algorithmically generated. So students get a different version of it. Each student gets a different version of it as well. Okay. So let's see. So let's set some dates. Let's look at our calendar. So I'm going to add the calendar back. I'm going to click here. It's going to add a calendar. Now we don't have any dates set. So I'm going to go into mass change dates. Mass change dates is going to bring up a big screen that's for the teachers to look at. It's going to have all the assignments in this course. Each assignment, it's going to show the name. It's going to have whether or not we're going to show these assignments or hide them. So if you're not teaching a certain topic, you're going to want to hide it. If not, it's going to have a date, a start date, and an end date, and also a time. So an end date is simply the due date. The start date, for those of you unfamiliar with online homework, the start date is when students log in, they'll be able to see this assignment is available for them to work. When they log in after this date, it's available, and then it's due after this date. So it looks like this course is a little bit old, so I need to change everything at the same time. So I'm going to do a check all. You have to check a box next to assignment to make that change. And let's just bring the start date up a little bit. Let's have these available starting on Monday. And then let's set some due dates here. Let's have everything due on Friday. And I'm going to send down date and time changes. And I don't know if you see this, but topic B was open a week after topic A and due a week later. And this action menu, I did action send down, it changed all the dates by the same number of days. So send down does that, but everything else is a copy, and it's just like it sounds. So it's going to copy the exact date, start date, end date, or time, depending on how you have it set. But send down brings everything up to the same changes everything by the same number of days. Very useful when you're starting a new course and you're copying it from previous year's course. You can just bring all those dates up to the new year. So now we have these assignments on our calendar. So A1 is now available. So anybody that is enrolled in this class, again, it's course ID 6450. You'll be shown on the roster here. Looks like we got another person. Great. And now if you click on the calendar, and you can start doing assignments in topic A because those are available. Okay. So let's go back into mass change dates. So I've looked at these assignments. I decided I'm not going to teach topic A4. We just don't cover it, so I'm going to hide that. But I want some other dates set. A1, let's make this due yesterday, just to show you some features here. A2, we can leave that on Friday. A3, or actually A2, let's have that due on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And that's probably good for this. I'm going to save these, and now those dates change on the calendar. Now, if you're logged in, you're still going to see this A1 because it's past due, but you're not going to see everything that's not available yet because it hasn't been assigned, or it's been assigned, but it's not yet available. So if I look at this from a student perspective, I only see what's available from the student. Okay. Now, if a student clicks on A1, they're going to see that it's in review mode. They get the big red in review mode. No scores will be saved. No scores will be saved. So they can't see anything. The color coding here is just like a stoplight. A2 is yellow if we were to change something. So it's due today, it's going to turn red. So let's take that A3 and let's have this due today. So I just changed A3, I clicked A3, I clicked the box, made the change, saved the changes. That's not today. Try it again. A3, Wednesday, let's make that Tuesday. Save it. Okay, A3, it's now red. So student logs in, they see assignments red, that means it's due today or due very soon. Yellow, they have a little bit of time. Green, they have plenty of time. Okay. So what if a student needs extra time? They're late. Let's talk about late passes. So late passes are something you can assign from the roster. I can manage late passes here. So late passes are, the premise is that every student's going to have some work that's going to be late, and you don't necessarily need to spend your time discussing why their work is late. You're just going to give everybody a certain number of late passes at the start of the semester, and maybe late passes are going to extend the due date on any assignment by 6 or 7 days a week. I'm going to add 5 late passes to everybody. I'm going to save the changes. Now go back here. Now a student, when they see this, there's going to be a late pass available on topic A. They're going to be able to go in and, let me just make sure the settings are correct. Okay, I didn't have those set correctly. So now if you're a student in here, you should be able to see a late pass. I didn't have those turned on. So now if they log in, they see it'll say LP, late pass allowed. If I was logged in as a student, this would be a link. It would say, it would read use late pass. They'd be able to use one of their late passes, go in and do that work. If Kendra wants to try that right now, we can show that. You might have to refresh your browser to see the updated late pass. Some students are not going to use the late passes correctly. For those students, you're going to want to use what's called an exception. So an exception is for a specific student for a specific time. So we can make an exception for one student. We can do it for a specific course, or I'm sorry, specific assignment, and then we would extend the due date on that assignment or change the due date on that assignment. So exceptions are a little more granular. They're given per student. You have to manually do those and give them out, but that's also available from the roster. You can go into the gradebook. I can see topic A, topic A2, A3. When we click on the student score, we see the questions they were given. Again, this is a vocab, so it's not that important. But we also see how long it took that student to work that question, the class average, and then which question they were given on the other problems as well. So each of the questions they were given, how long it took them. And so you get a lot of information there. You can get the answer shown as well. Okay, IP means in progress. I have to reset this. I wanted her to do this. So she opened that assignment before I gave her the late pass. So I'm going to clear these attempts. She had a 0 on it. And now this in the gradebook, the score goes back to a dash instead of a 0. So now Kendra can go back in and use the late pass for topic A1. She couldn't before because she had opened it. And she was shown a warning says, if you don't use a late pass, you're not going to be able to use one later. If you open it in review mode, you're not going to be able to see a late pass. Okay, so that's setting dates. It's late passes. There's another way to set dates. It's from this calendar. So I'll just show you this quickly. People like this. It's drag and drop editing. So if it's during the semester and you just need to change a due date, you can do this with drag and drop editing. So maybe I want to change topic A, I want it due on Thursday, A5, due Thursday. I want all these due here. Or I want to give them extra time so I can just drag that over. Each assignment has 2 dates, right? It has a start date and an end date. So the start date has the bar and then the arrow, and the end date has the arrow and then the bar. So if you're not sure where the other date is, hovering over the start date will show you the end date and vice versa. So drag and drop editing, now I go back to the assignment or back to the course. And you see we moved one of those dates. Also notice that when I'm navigating, I just use the navigation here, the name of the course. I try not to use the back button. So I can just go to the course page by clicking on this course link here, go to the calendar, go to the gradebook, back to the course page here. Okay. So that's the calendar, setting dates from mass change dates here. Mass change dates. To set a date, I have to check a box. I can hide items that I'm not going to teach. Set a start date. This is the date it becomes available when students log in. So for example, if I want B1 to be available right now, I can make that also start on Monday. So I check the box, make the change, save the change. I did that. The only thing I did is I changed the start date of B1 to Monday the 15th, which was yesterday. So now students log in and they would see B1's also available, even though it's not due till the following Friday. Again, to see the student view, I just click here and I can see that students can see this. Again, they can't see any of the other assignments because those are not available yet. They can see A1 because that's past due, and they may want to use a late pass on that. Okay, so you can see them both. Okay, so let's talk about the settings a little bit. You can see for some of these early assignments, there's a lot of class notes. These are completely editable by the instructor. Maybe there's a typo in one of these. Maybe there's a definition that you want to remove and do later. So if I go to the gear icon here, this is where all of your options are as a teacher to edit these assignments. So if I want to edit this, I'm going to go to Settings. And I can see this is just text. I have complete control over this. I can change anything in here. I can reformat it. I can add more content to it. I can delete some of this. I can add my own videos or links from YouTube if I want. So you have complete control over these class notes. These are yours. From here, this also opens the settings screen. You can also set dates for this assignment here. We've gone over that a few times. But you can do it for mass change. You can do it from the calendar and with drag and drop, and then you can also do it from settings for individual assignments. The settings for all these assignments, for the templates, or skip around. Students work each question 3 times. After the 3rd incorrect attempt, the student is shown the correct answer, and then they can try another similar question. So that's all built into these templates. So it makes it really easy for you to get up and get started quickly. We went over these settings in a lot of depth in the previous webinar, so I'm not going to go into it too much here. Okay, so the calendar, the class notes. So these class notes are here for you. It's the vocab, and some definitions, rules, properties, and then most of them have videos as well, so very easy to do. One way to use these is obviously just pull the Varsity Learning website up during your class. You can modify these notes to have your notes. Students go home, they still have access to them, and then they see the video. So you can see this can be useful for an in-class course, or if you're teaching virtually and you're doing a webinar like this, students can log in, they have all the class notes here, you can discuss them, they can watch the video, you can narrate the video as it's playing. I used to play these videos and stop them in class, kind of talk about them, ask them questions, and then it's great because the students can go home and they have the same video available to them. They can watch it again. So class notes, really flexible, kind of a simple idea, but certainly during what we're going through right now, very flexible for in-class use or online use. It's all right there, completely editable for you. Let's see, what else are we going to talk about here? Class notes, calendar, gradebook. Okay, let me do the gradebook some more. So go back into Gradebook, full featured Gradebook. We have you can obviously see the scores, click on any assignment, you can see what that student was given, but there's more settings as well. So I go into settings, that's an online homework assignment. You can set your gradebook up to match your syllabus. Use it as your full featured gradebook. Other items too, add a test. Oops, sometimes this is harder than it should be. And give everything a weight. So you have your gradebook set up by total points or by category weights, or however you have it in your syllabus. You can keep the number of highest scores or drop lowest scores here. You want to do this obviously at the end of the semester. I'm going to save these. So everything we've done so far is just about online homework and online grades, but we can add offline grades to Varsity as well. Just right into the gradebook here, it says offline grades. I'm just going to add one. The system doesn't know what we're doing, so we have to just tell it. So it wants a name, point total, when this assignment's going to be available, or when you want this grade to be counted. It's not available. This is something you've done in class. The important part here is the gradebook category. So I'm going to add this to the category for quizzes. We named it quiz 1. We want this to count. And let's see. We can upload grades if we have a different grade book and we've already entered these in our spreadsheet. We can upload these to Varsity from a spreadsheet here. I did that. You can see we just have a list of students here. We can give everybody a score on this quiz. Again, we're assuming this is a quiz we did in class. You can give the students some feedback as well for that quiz. You can give some generic feedback to the entire class if you want here. Submit this. Now you see we have the homework assignments, we have the quizzes. We can just isolate the quizzes category here. We can see that there's a category called quizzes worth 25% of the grade. There's one item in there called quiz 1 worth 50 points along with the scores. There's a whole category. You can see that the grades are kind of going off the screen. This toggles drop down is going to give us some options here. I'm going to go to toggles, headers, and then I'm going to lock this. So when I lock it, it's going to give me a scroll bar here so I can scroll through all the grades. And then it keeps everybody's name over here on the left. So toggles, locked. Toggles, headers, and locked. Okay. Gradebooks can be exported. So you probably have a gradebook already. So you can export the Varsity Learning grades to an Excel sheet or just a generic CSV file, and then upload them into your current gradebook as well. So very flexible, like most things in Varsity. Okay, let's see. I think that's just about everything I was going to cover. We can start, if you have some questions, you can post them in the chat as well. Just want to remind everybody that Varsity Learning is available over the summer. It's available next school year. There's currently no charge for Varsity. Varsity is going to be free for teachers and students for the 2021 school year, at least, hopefully longer than that. We encourage you to, if you like it and you're interested, contact us at the support email. We can set up a private webinar with your department, get some of your specific questions asked. Obviously, there's going to be some questions about the content. We're happy to go over that in as much detail as you want. So support at Varsity Learning is the best email to ask questions. Does anybody have any questions right now about what we've gone over? Anything we haven't gone over? So we went over setting dates for assignments. I showed you all the assignments, kind of how they're in there. You have complete control over these. We did creating your own assignments from on last week's webinar. We have that if you want to email us and want a copy of that webinar. We have that posted on our YouTube channel as well, but we're going to record this. Happy to answer any questions you have. If not, we're going to end this pretty quickly. I appreciate everybody coming. I hope it was useful. Glad to see that we did this in a half hour. Sometimes I talk too much and it goes long. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.